I'm your host, Davita Shensky, and you're listening to Live Without Limits. Dreams come true with the right mindset. And today's presentation is 10 shadow work prompts for more peace. What is shadow work and how can it help? Well, first thing I'm going to tell you is the shadow works is what Carl Jung called that subconscious mind. And that's where, when you had a traumatic experience, it's relegated to the subconscious because that's how your body and your brain protect you from feeling hurt and controls how you react to certain situations. It is quite likely as you travel your life journey, you encounter plenty of situations that get your emotions riled up. Sometimes you get riled up in a positive way, such as when your child comes home with thrilling news about a major accomplishment that they achieved in school. Other times, negative emotions get you riled up, such as when you hear bad news, get into an argument with a loved one, experience loss, or so on. Learning how to identify and process emotions is important if you want to enjoy peace and joy along your journey. A self or spiritual discovery journey is a helpful way to start learning about your emotions and work on becoming the best version of yourself. What is shadow work? Shadow work is a term coined by the well known Swiss psychologist Carl Jung. As he intensely studied the psyche, he came up with a model of the psyche that helped others understand it better. Essentially, he taught that the psyche is made up of the conscious and the unconscious mind. The ego is the conscious part, which is basically our personality. The unconscious he called the shadow. This is the part that he referred to when he talked about shadow work. So, what does it mean to do shadow work? Because the shadow is in the unconscious part of the psyche, we don't typically see it. It's hidden. Shadow work is essentially taking the time to begin an inner journey to shine light on the unconscious to see what it is in there and what may be holding us back in life in order to overcome the things that have created the problems, like in my case, having been abused physically, mentally, and emotionally for years. I can even see now where at the time I suppressed a lot of things, but I can see that anger coming out now over the things that happened to me early on. But I understand where it's coming from, and because I understand where it's coming from and how it all happened, it isn't keeping me from living the life that I was meant to live. But at the same time, I know it's like when I encounter a similar situation, I react the way I did when I was a child. So typically, the shadow is comprised of parts of ourselves that we repressed or rejected since we were children. For example, a 6-year-old who is beaten up by his neighbor may not have been old enough to really process and integrate the scary emotions that arose during the confrontation. The ego will relegate those intense emotions to the shadow side. This is the nature of the psyche when it doesn't know how or isn't mature enough to understand how to process intense emotions. Other things you may find in the shadow are feelings of abandonment, fear, shame, unworthiness, rage, as well as some positive characteristics such as assertiveness and a particular talent. You know, we're all unique and we all have talents that make us different. And when a person's really good at something, that's their talent. You shouldn't try to compete with them. You should find out what's you're good at and excel at it, and don't try to compete with someone else. We all have a shadow side. Every human being creates a shadow side as they navigate life. It's simply the way the psyche works. Part of life's journey is to take some time to delve inside and make the unconscious conscious so that we can process, heal, and integrate what we find. Have you had some struggles where you reacted strongly emotionally? Do you feel stuck in life? Is it tough for you to even feel emotions? Doing shadow work can help you to begin to recognize the thoughts, the emotions, the habits that could be hiding or holding you back or keeping you in emotional turmoil. Speaking for myself, shadow work has helped me address plenty of insecurities, past pain, fear, and has also helped me locate specific positive talents that were relegated to the shadow years ago. I've gotten to know myself a lot better, and that includes my spiritual self as well. So, how do you practice shadow work? There are several ways that you can begin doing shadow work as you navigate your personal and spiritual development journey. It's important that you find your individual path that resonates with you. The following are several ways that individuals embrace shadow work. You can try one or try them all and see what helps you the most when it comes to unearthing what may be holding you back. Meditation, daily meditation is a wonderful practice for going within and getting to know your whole self on a deeper level, even as you take 10 to 15 minutes a day. Sitting in silence with your eyes closed will help you begin to shine a light on what's hidden in your subconscious or shadow side. When something comes to your awareness, you can simply observe it from a space of loving kindness. Process it com- compassionately and then let it go. Practicing mindfulness throughout the day can also enhance your shadow work journey, allowing you to contend with shadows as they arise in a loving and compassionate way. Shadow work journaling. So, so far, shadow work journaling is the most particular or popular way to dive deep into the shadow and face and process what you find. There are plenty of shadow work prompts and guided journals to help you get the process started. Now, here's another thing that also, when you're talking about journaling, you're talking about the laws of attraction. You're talking about changing your mindset. you're talking about getting rid of the negative aspects and beginning to think more positively about things. So the prompts are designed to help you shine a light on hidden aspects of yourself and ultimately release them from the darkness into the light of your consciousness. So think of it as emptying out a heavy shadow bag that you've been carrying through the years. The more shadows that you contend with, the less heavy the shadow bag is, and the better you'll feel mentally and emotionally. Shadow work journaling can help you to better understand what you are and who you're not and who you want to become. It can also lead you to the cheaper connection with your spiritual self and your higher power. Not sure where to get started? 10 shadow work prompts to help. When is the last time that you gazed into your own eyes in the mirror? Really looked at yourself deep. Do it today. Notice and jot down what you feel and insights that come. So, what we're doing here is we're talking about the 10 shadow work prompts that you can help. And the first one we talked about was when is the last time that you gazed into your own eyes in the mirror and really looked at yourself deep inside. And the idea here is to do it and notice and jot down what you feel and the insights that come to you and into your awareness. Two, what is the major pattern in the past relationships? Do you lose yourself, pursue, then retreat, ghost them before insecure or become insecure? What's, or rather three, what's one thing that triggers a pretty big emotional response? Is it possible that the very thing that resides deep inside of you is it unconscious shadow wanting, needing to be faced, felt, and integrated? Four, do you think that you're lying to yourself about something? If so, what is it? Why do you think that you're not facing the truth? Five, how do you feel when you are alone? Six, how emotionally mature do you think you are? When you're triggered, do you act like a child? Explore that topic. Seven, any toxic relationships in your life currently? Begin digging to see dynamics. Try not to solely point fingers at the others. Dig inside. Now, toxic relationships are the things that create the shadow prompts that you feel later in life. And you may not realize it at the time that they are toxic relationships. So, eight, what do you admire most about your partner, best friend? Could those traits be buried in your shadow side? Are you addicted to something? If so, what are you getting out of it? Relief? Distraction? How would you feel if you could free yourself of this addiction? What are your top three negative beliefs about yourself? Any idea where you picked these up? Do you believe you can change them? That last one, the 10th one, that is so important. So let's hear that one again. What are your top three negative beliefs about yourself? Any idea where you pick these things up? Do you believe that you can change them? Now, either it can be your significant other, it can be your parents, it can be a teacher, but somewhere someone told you negative things about yourself and you kept repeating them and repeating them until you internalized them and then made them come true every day in everything that you do and the way you react to different situations. So the idea here is, how are you going to change those? So when doing shadow work, be kind to yourself and ask for support. Shadow work is going to be difficult for most of us. After all, we are actively digging up and facing past issues that we may have stuffed down for a reason. As you explore your answers to these prompts, make sure to practice a lot of self care or self awareness. Reach out for help and from someone that you trust when it gets very hard or challenging, such as a family member, friend, loved one, or even a counselor or therapist if you need extra guidance. This is about healing yourself and taking time to be kind to yourself. And often, one thing I can tell you is having a therapist there who really understands and that can truly help you is the most important way to go. And the last thing that I'm going to talk about is a 5-day challenge I have that's called Change Your Thoughts, Transform Your Life. Because the first day we talk about those subconscious thoughts and how they can affect your relationships. On day 2, we talk about toxic relationships and their effect on your mental health. In day 3, we talk about the workplace culture because communication in the workplace culture is so important and you need to communicate at a level that is understandable by everyone and feeds into encouraging them, which means you're going to have to change and adapt how you communicate to different people in the workplace. The fourth day, we talk about changing the negative thoughts into positive ones. And then on the fifth day, we review everything and talk about where to go from here. And you can go to the website changeyourthoughtschallenge.com/join the challenge. And I hope to see you there.